I want to shoot a video on how to handle day old chicks, but I'm 2 days behind because the birds are already on their third day. This is their third actually. Today being 25th September 2022. The birds came in on Friday 23rd at a ridiculous price anyway. Can you imagine? Now in Nigeria they sell day old chicks for 800 naira. I don't know what these hatcheries are feeding their breeder stock. Maybe they're eating gold and silver. So I'll be giving you a recap on what we did over here in our farm. It's like a farm diary session anyway, in raising these broilers on the first day, so that the video will serve as how to handle day old chicks. And the video is starting right now. In order to make this video as short as possible, I'll be dividing the things we do in handling the day old chicks into three. The first one are the things we did before their arrival, the second are the things we do upon their arrival, and finally are the things we've been doing since they settled in properly up till now. So for the first one that we did upon before their arrival, I have our brooder checklist. They are just the things we do before the birds arrive to the farm. So I'll be sharing the link in the description of this video, or you can click this card over here to access the video. Now, another thing we'll do before these birds come into the farm is to heat up the room, the brooding area. In fact, we start a night before they come, and the target temperature is 35 degrees. We maintain this 35 degrees even when the birds have arrived, and we'll maintain it for the next 5 hours. After the 5 hours, we'll now drop it down to between 31 and 32 degrees. It can be fluctuating in between there. So when we get information that the birds have arrived at the pickup spot, before they arrive anyway, we'll know the day is going to arrive, and we'll know that they normally dispense and give up the birds to the people who already booked for theirs by 8 a.m. So around 6:37, we are already there. Someone from the farm is already there to pick our own up, so that immediately the person gets it by 8. The priority is to bring it down to the farm immediately, no need branching anywhere. And upon arrival to the farm, the first thing we do is to weigh our birds. Now, these broilers came from Agri-Ted, and in the past, the broilers I get from Agri-Ted always come with an average weight of 45 grams, but this particular one, I don't know why, that 39 grams after weighing 32 of them, and they are 312 in number. So I just weighed like 10% of them, and I got 39 grams. But today, before this video anyway, that's after they spent 2 days, I just took one and weighed down. That one is weighing 71. That means they're actually picking up. They're not sick, all of them are healthy. After weighing the birds, the next thing we'll do is to drop them in the tray feeder containing feed to encourage feeding, and also we sprinkle feed on the brooding pepper so that they will have complete access to feed, which will help encourage feeding. Also in the water, our water contains multivitamin and glucose on the first day. The essence of the multivitamin is to counter the stress the day old chicks have been placed in, because transporting them from the hatchery to the supplier and then transporting it from the supplier to the farm, that's totally full-time stress. And then the glucose is just to give them energy. So right now we'll be going inside. Let me show you some of the things we've been doing since the birds settled in. So this is our brooding area, and this section also is part of the brooding area. But as the birds grow and this space can't contain them anymore, we'll remove this feed demarcation and allow them access to this other section. And then when they are done brooding, we'll remove this tarpaulin and then allow them full-time access into the whole poultry house. So over here now, on the first day, the first 2 hours, after we check the temperature of the birds and place them on the tray feeders, the first 2 hours someone has to be inside the brooding house to stay with the birds. And what is this person going to be doing? The person is just making sure that none of the birds are resting. None. Because resting at that particular time creates lapses in weight. That's where you start losing uniformity. You start seeing the ones that have been feeding and drinking having more weight than the ones that have been resting. So what we'll do is, for the first 2 hours, when we have placed the birds, that means they've settled in. When we see anyone that is resting, let me pick one that is resting and show you. So right now I'll be picking up one of these birds that are kind of resting. Let me just pick one. First thing we do when we see a bird that is resting is to do what they call a crop check. Crop check is we just press the crop. The crop is located here. I'm feeling it right now. When you press the crop and the crop happens to be empty, that means the bird have not eaten and the bird have not drank water. So the first thing we do is to bring it close to the water. Let me press and release a little water. We dip the mouth inside the water for the bird to drink. When we do it for some time, we place the bird on top of the feeder to feed. And then when you check the crop of the bird and notice that it is kind of fluidy, contains water, but you are not feeling that presence of feed inside, what we do is just to place the bird on the feeder. And then within that same 2 hours, when you do the same thing and notice that the crop has this kind of gritty consistency, you know, this consistency of feed, but there is no water, you then just place it close to water and leave it close to the drinker to drink. The next thing the person does within that same 2 hours is to monitor the temperature. Now for the first 5 hours, we will leave this temperature to still remain within 35 degrees. So if the temperature happens to go above that, the person will have to remove some of the charcoal pots outside. And when the temperature drops below that, either the person brings in more charcoal pots or the person adds more charcoal to help increase the heat after a few minutes. Then after the first 2 hours, the person can exit the poultry brooding house to go do other things. Then after 2 hours, comes back to check on the birds in particular that are resting, do the crop check again. And also, then after 5 hours, after the first 5 hours, what we then do is to drop the temperature from that 35 degrees, we drop it down to between 31 and 32 degrees. As you can see over here, our temperature here is a bit higher than what it should be. It's 31.7 degrees. That means our temperature is 1 degree higher than what is meant to be. So probably immediately after this video, I'll be removing one of the charcoal pots outside. Also, you can monitor the heat, the temperature within the brooding house based on the behavior of the birds, if you don't have access to getting the thermometer. And the behavior is when they are clustered close to the heat source, that means that the heat you are generating is not enough. So everybody is trying to come very close to huddle among themselves and closer to the heat source. But when they are running away from the heat source, that means the heat is too much when you see them. But when you see the birds somehow like this, carefully dispersed in different locations, that means the heat source is okay. Now another thing we also do on the first day, and we virtually do it throughout the brooding time, is to always come in and clean the feeder. You know, since the birds are already standing on the feeder, there is every possibility that they will be defecating inside. So what we'll do is just to take the feces out and then spray the feed. At this point in time, you can add more. Adding more feed will encourage the birds to feel like to come in to consume. As you can see, more birds have entered here, and with time you notice that they will start eating. We do this every 2 hours throughout the first day or throughout the brooding time, and that's what we'll continue doing. Even in the middle of the night, someone has to come in. If you are the one brooding this alone, sorry for you, during the brooding time you will not have quality sleep. But if you are working in team, maybe you do it turn by turn, someone can come in the first 2 hours while the other one is sleeping, and then the shift will change to the next person. That means this person will sleep for 4 hours and come in, the other one will sleep for 4 hours. Then if you check it properly, that means there is presence of someone in the brooding house every 2 hours. Let me just disturb them a little. so that those that are sleeping will wake up. That's basically what we do over here on the first day of raising our broilers. That's the activities we do to handle day-old chicks. So how do you do yours in your farm? How do you handle day-old chicks? Feel free to share with us in the comment section of this video. And if you are watching this from Nigeria, you already know what's going on. Cost of day-old chicks is on the increase. Cost of feed is on the increase. Cost of medication is on the increase due to the inflation and other unchecked things, because some of these units are not being regulated. So how do you cope with all these increments? Feel free to share with us in the comment section of this video. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel, and also see you next time.